Oh goodness, it's pretty dark. Um, I'm starting out on a new trail here. I'm not even entirely sure what it's called, so I'll have to show you the sign when I get back to the trailhead. It's still pretty dark. The sun really hasn't come up over the hills yet, but there's a lot more light than there was when I started out a while ago. This is the first hike I've been on where it's been genuinely cold. You could definitely feel little hints of winter. But I just wanted to take a picture of this. It really is very pretty in the kind of the soft light, and just show how expansive this area is. Once the sun comes up, I'll take more pictures. It's mostly a flat trail at this point. However, as we get up further, it does start to get steep. So it's kind of a, if you want to just go on a short little nature trail that's relatively gentle, this first part is perfect. However, I would highly recommend that you don't come midday in the summer because there's no shade. I walked about a mile and I came to this sign. It says Old Juniper Trail, Jardine Juniper 4 miles. I don't think I'll go all the way. I'm not really prepared for that big of a hike, but it is worth it if you ever want to do it. If you come in the spring, this area here is actually a riverbed, and it can be kind of treacherous to cross. And the other thing that I was going to mention is it's early October here, and it's a good time to come hiking, but it's also important not to come during hunting season, and I'm not entirely sure when hunting season starts, but there are hunters up here, so it can be kind of treacherous if you come, because they might just think you're a deer. I've been serenaded by owls the entire walk, and I just wanted to catch a picture of these golden trees and the mountain. Really is. There aren't a lot of places where we get these kind of golden leaves in the fall. Usually they're more of the red and orange. I love signs like that. We're pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and the trail, as you can see, is extremely clear. And there's no paths in this area to indicate that this isn't the trail. So for some reason somebody felt the need to put a sign that says trail, even though, hello. And I'm guessing there must have been some kind of motivation. Maybe people were getting lost, I'm not sure. I just think it's really funny. Come around the bend and we have yet another random sign. Please pack litter out. Always good recommendation. We don't want people littering in the mountains. Typically people who come hiking like this don't tend to trash them. It's usually on the trails that are lower down and more easily accessible, but still, good reminder. What a beautiful sound. I could listen to it all day. There's just this really tiny little spring coming out of the mountain here. Such a beautiful sound. It sure doesn't feel like it, but I've actually come pretty far. I wish that pictures were crisper right now. I can tell they're a little bit hazy, and I'm not sure if it's because of the lighting or because of all the smoke in the valley. But way down there is where I started this climb. This is kind of fun. This is definitely a multi-use trail. We have some deer tracks, bicycle tracks, and I don't know how I'll see some dog tracks, as well as human tracks along here. So there are even signs of horses having been along here. So this is definitely a multi-use trail. And I realize I probably didn't zoom out yet. Oh! Sun's starting to come up. This sign here says Mount Naomi Wilderness Cache National Forest. And just kind of pan around. I'm in another valley, and I believe I'm heading up to that mountaintop there. Well, as usual, it looks like I ended up going a lot further than I expected, and I think I'm going to try and make it all the way to Jardine Juniper. But I wanted to stop and take a picture of this gnarly old juniper because my understanding is that all of these junipers are somehow connected. I'm not sure if that's true or if that's just my imagination, but they are wonderfully old, gnarled trees in the middle of this beautiful wilderness area. I'm up a lot higher than I thought I was going to come, but as long as I'm here, I might as well try and make it all the way to the Jardine Juniper, right? So it looks like I have a choice between a scenic route and a shady route. It doesn't say if one's longer or shorter, so what the heck, I'll go the scenic route. The scenic route, so far, it's living up to its name. And this is a great view of the second valley I came through. The trail is right there, loops around there, and then there's a whole nother valley that I have to get to. I just checked my pedometer and I'm at 4.5 miles, which means I should be there pretty soon, and I am feeling a little stupid because I shouldn't have come this far. I'm completely unprepared for a 10-mile hike. The sun is just peeking through the trees here, and what a beautiful glow, golden glow from these trees. Heading down this path and thinking I'm almost there. But either way, it's just absolutely a lovely path. With the sun coming up, it's warming up. I'm actually starting to sweat now. Finally warmed up. You can really see just how smoky the valley is. That's the sun, and I believe all this is smoke from California that has really just kind of settled into the valley. Well, I must be getting close. There's a sign here that says Jardine Juniper down that way. For some reason, I always thought it was this way. I'm kind of curious. I guess I should follow the path. Let's see how far it goes. All right. At long last, I think I'm almost here. It was definitely much further than I really expected. But here we are. Looks like somebody broke the sign, or it might have just deteriorated. This, I can't even really read what it says. This rocky mountain has been alive with respect, survive more. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it says, but that's it. That's the Jardine Juniper. Let's go down a little bit closer and take a look. I think it's like the oldest tree in this area. I'm gonna have to do some research and fill you in. There's this fun platform and Jardine Juniper. Do not climb on tree, definitely. And let me just pan up and then pan around, because what a view we have. We're really on top of the world here. And it is glorious. So hopefully it's worth the hike. That sun alone is pretty neat. Wow. Really is a spectacular view and well worth the hike. I can say that now that I'm here. I haven't made it back yet. I didn't check my pedometer, but I'm guessing it was well over 5 miles here. So I've got a ways to go back, and I really am unprepared. I didn't bring food. I have just this little tiny thing of water that is almost empty. And nobody knows I'm here. So really how not to do a hike and be safe. But sometimes when the trail just keeps going forward, you just got to follow it. So I'm going to turn around and head back, and hopefully won't get a sunburn. It really is quite sunny today. Thanks for joining me at the top here. One last view of this gnarled ancient tree on top of this mountain before heading back. Back at the sign, and I think I'm going to go this way, which I believe is the shady way. So I get a loop, and the sun is up now, so I always like shady paths, especially now I'm pretty hot because I just took a shortcut up the side of the hill there, and about halfway up I realized it was probably a really bad idea because there are rattlesnakes in the area, but luckily I didn't encounter any. I can't figure out what happened to this little guy. Aw, he's a cutie pie. I don't know, they say the other way's the scenic route, but this is pretty spectacular. It's a good view. There are some trees in the way, but wow. I think they're both pretty scenic. Before starting down, I just wanted to get a view. It's just quite amazing. Look at that. We're so high up. Fun. And I'm developing a bit of a cough, and I don't think it's COVID. I think it's because it's smoky and I don't have any water. So hopefully I make it to the car without getting too dehydrated, but I just had to stop and show you this. I made it to the second valley and need to head all the way down there, but it's really nice and shady over here. It was a little hot coming over this way because I was right in the sun, but it's a little bit shadier on this side of the ridge. So still have quite a ways to go. I'm guessing I still have about 4 miles to go. So I should have learned by now, but I haven't, not to go off trail. And I did, and I'm completely lost. Luckily I know if I go down I'll eventually get to a road or a path or something, but oh, it looks like there's a sign over there. Woohoo! I've been wandering around for a while and I'm pretty tired, but I think this might be the path up here, and I should start calling them long cuts instead of shortcuts because inevitably they get me in trouble. Luckily this time I feel like, you know how I was making fun of this sign here because, like, of course we're gonna stay on the trail. Maybe it's for goofballs like me who try to take shortcuts and end up completely lost, so that when they reorient to the trail they know to go this way in order to get back to their car. Well, I'm hoping this is the last valley. Look at how beautiful. And I still have a ways to go. But hopefully the end is in sight. If I just take a picture of my shadow so I can wave hi. I have about a mile to go, but I just wanted to show you where I came from. I'm heading down this way, and I couldn't show you on the way up because it was so dark, but looked like they were doing some trail work or something up here, and I'm hearing chainsaws, so I think I have about a mile to go, and I'll stop and check out what they're doing up here, see if they're building a new trail or maybe a bike trail or a horse trail. I don't know, we'll have to see. So I don't know if you can see them. I didn't want to film them too much just to respect their privacy and such, but they're wilderness workers, and they're rerouting the trail, they said, for drainage. So it does get pretty narrow along here. So I was just gonna hop up here and show you the new trail they're doing here. It's all the way along the hillside, and I guess I'll walk on it. It's a lot wider than the other trail, and the other trail, because it goes right down the center of the canyon, it tends to sort of become a stream in the spring, and then in the winter the water tends to pool there and get icy, so it's a difficult trail to manage in the spring and the winter. And so this will be good, I think. It's up on the side of the hill, and so won't have those drainage problems, and it's also about twice as wide as the other trail, so it'll be good for bikers and people on horses and joggers. And I'm not supposed to be on this trail, I don't think, but I just wanted to give you a view. So there's the new trail. Looks like they have a nice little tractor here, a tiny, like a mini tiny backhoe to help him with the work. That's pretty cute. This is quite a project, really. There's a little chipmunk up here. There he goes down the trail. I don't know if you'll be able to see him or not. He's pretty cute. And he's alive, unlike the other one that was pretty dead. It was dark when I came across this bridge this morning, but I just wanted to show it to you. It's such a cute little bridge. And what a fun place to sit in the spring when there's runoff. Right now the creek is dry and getting close. My feet are a little blistered and my mouth is a little parched and my knees are wobbly. But hey, it's a pretty good hike. This hike here, or this sign here, sorry, not hike. This sign here says horse crossing. So I guess there's a special place over here to take your horses if you don't want to take them across that bridge, which is probably a good idea. I don't know, if I were on a horse going across that bridge, I'd be pretty nervous. Whew. Back to the trailhead. Hooray! I made it. I just wanted to show you the sign. Oh, nothing very exciting here. This is the sign I need to show you. Old Jardine Juniper, Cottonwood Trail, 3.4 miles. Jardine Juniper tree is 5.2 miles. So according to that, I should have walked 10.4 miles. I'm going to check my pedometer and see if that's right. So I'm in the parking lot sitting next to this glorious pumpkin that somebody left here in the parking lot. I checked my pedometer and it was 9.93 miles, which means my shortcut might have actually been a shortcut, just a teeny tiny one. I'm not sure it was worth the hassle. The other thing about the shortcut is I ended up getting a bunch of grass and pine needles and stuff in my shoe, so it's pretty uncomfortable walking back. But it was a great hike. I'm glad I did it because I don't know when I would do it again. It's hard to find that kind of time that it takes, 4 or 5 hours to go on a hike. Next time I do it, I'm going to plan for it. I'll bring a thermos of coffee, some cookies, maybe a sandwich, and have lunch up there. But I'm really glad I got it done, and thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the trails. I kind of want to bring this big boy home.